pom. Talk about cheerleader. That's Kim. Isn't allergic to hay? I am actually. I am actually allergic to hay. I'm allergic to all kinds of all grass. Doesn't matter what it is. Like I can't even like drink like wheatgrass, wheatgrass juice, or I can't have like protein shakes or anything that has like a grass, a wheatgrass, or alfalfa or anything like that. It's highly allergic. What brought that up, Mav? That's a weird thing. That's a weird thing. Oh, Miro. Oh my goodness. Miro, thank you so much for gifting that 6-month sub to Kim. Aww. Thank you. Thank you. Why did that not work, 9? You put that in there last week. It's weird. Thank you, Miro. Thank you so much. That's why. Okay. Need to change that. Need to change that. I don't remember what it is. Let me check and see. Commands. We'll make a different one. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so we're getting ready for spooky season. Spooky season. There we go. It's so late already. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like someone was like, oh, I had mentioned Halloween in one of my last streams. It was like at the end of August, and they were like, oh my goodness, let's not talk about it. It's only the end of August. And I had to explain that. Oh, no problem, Kim. Thanks for coming by. Happy birthday. I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing day. Say hi to Wayne for me. And you just enjoy your day. I was explaining that, as crafters, I know how irritated. See, I made Christmas ornaments yesterday. Perfect. That's the thing is like people don't understand that, from a crafter's perspective, for the holidays, we have to start in the summer. And so when people get upset about, oh, they've got Christmas stuff out already and they've got, we haven't even got through Thanksgiving yet and, things like that. They don't understand that crafters need that time to get them the fun stuff that they want for Christmas. So they hadn't looked at it from that perspective. So they're like, oh, okay, And then, of course, we're also, believe it or not, I don't know about you, 9, but like I plan Halloween. I plan next Halloween, this Halloween. So like not only am I doing stuff for this Halloween right now, I'm also considering what I might have or be doing next Halloween. Because when I bulk up on my supplies, which I, do a lot of wood shapes and things like, like ghosts and bats and stuff like that, I'm constantly picking up more than what I could accomplish right now to get completed, but I know that I'll have those for next year too. So I'm constantly thinking ahead on that. You don't want to be making Christmas stuff. You need to be making Christmas stuff. Yeah, you're never ahead of the game. I know. Halloween might already be lost cause this year. Yeah, that's the thing is you. I mean, I could only imagine for you because you know. But and then people don't consider either the fact of ordering. Like I have this order of like 10, the 10 coasters that are the 9 coasters that I'm doing. And like we've been talking about this since July. And so I'm finishing those up. So I'll have them done and they'll be ready, ready for her way ahead of time. It doesn't help that her school year doesn't start until I know. That's crazy. I know that's a sore subject for you right now. Goodness gracious. It's so weird because I always thought, well, it's been a long time since I went to school and I don't have kids. So, I don't, but I've noticed that, summers are getting shorter for some people and then longer for others, which is really strange. Like some school districts will go into like June, the middle of June, and then they'll start the beginning of September. And then some schools will be out in the end of May, and then they don't start until like after Labor Day. Like it's just the weirdest thing. I feel bad for your daughter who's excited. I know. I wish they'd just do year-round school. When we were in school, they were just introducing that for us, and like I think when I was in high school. So when we were all talking about it at that point, like, man, we wish we would have had year-round school when we were in grade school, and this and that would have been so cool, and this and that and the other. And then there was everybody who was bitching about it too. But then they started implementing it more, and you got to see where it was more beneficial to do that. People could plan things better. Just in their lives, and it was a good balance. It's a good balance for families, to have that option. So yeah. Do they do year round up there at all in any of your school districts in the area or surrounding areas? I know we have a bit of that here. I don't think all of our schools are that way, but there's a majority of them that are. It's weird. We have a weird school district here. Don't even ask me. But yeah, and then you want kids to be excited about going to school, right? Because it can be tough to go to school, and some people hate it and some people don't. But when you have someone who's excited and they just want to go to school, you can't get them to school, and then they don't understand why. Like, why am I being punished? I want to go to school. Yeah, I feel for the little one. And she's so smart too. She's so stinking smart that she needs it. Like she needs that outlet, So that's why we started working on our little Halloween stuff. So I have that, and I have this little coffin going on here. Like a lot of places, Oregon has one really big city, then some smaller medium-sized towns, and the rest is very rural. Oh, okay. I suspect that the pushback comes from those rural communities where families have to work okay. If they try to do it year-round schools statewide, there would be parts of the state where no one would attend in the summer. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that would cause a lot of pushback, wouldn't it? And we need our farms. It has to be a district by district thing. Yeah. Yeah, here in down here we have one school district. Portland Public Schools could probably implement it, but where we are now, not so much. That's crazy. Well, all in due time. When does she get to go? Like next week or something? Because your boys have already started, right? Get this feather in here. Feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Oh, they went back this one. Okay, Wednesday. I don't want to do the line of that hat until I have this feather decided here. So do this little bit of feathering. We did an art project together yesterday, food coloring popsicles for painting instead of eating. Food color, explain this. What do you mean? For painting instead of eating. Yeah, I tell me about this. I'm interested. Take an ice cube tray, put water and some food coloring in, and toothpaste. Freeze and paint. Can I eat my paint? Now you can. So you literally paint with them, or are you wait? I really want to sound stupid here. So you literally just like paint with them, like on canvas or cloth or paper, and then if you get it all over the place, you're fine because it's well you can still stain, but still it's not toxic. Like, okay, huh? As they melt, they leave behind color. That's awesome. So it's more like a watercolor. Wow. Adds a whole new dimension to watercolor. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Holy cow. I want to do that. I want to do that. It's a lesson in physics and patience too. Oh, yeah. But man, how fun is that? I wonder if you could use no, he's still learning the patience part, right? It's fine. It's fine. I wonder if you could use like watercolors too. You know, for the adults maybe. Well, patience does come with age. Sometimes not, Miro. I know some very impatient adults. She opened the freezer like 20 times. Are they done yet? Are they done yet? Are they done yet? Morning, afternoon, evening. Hey, Lisa, how's it going? How are you? Welcome in. Happy Sunday. You had to explain to her that things freeze from the outside in. Oh, yeah. That's too funny. Well, I mean, she's learning. She's learning. That's awesome. Did you let her put her finger in one to show her that this is what happens if you don't wait for it to get finished? Good. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. So glad to hear you're having a good Sunday. It's a good Sunday. Yeah. Okay, good. And then after that, she opened the fridge again. Are they done yet? Are they done yet? That's funny. So the question about eating your paint is actually valid when you have littles. That's an excellent project to be able to do with smaller children since the food coloring makes it non-toxic. Absolutely. That's fantastic. That is a great idea. They learn the fundamentals, and then as they continue on and learn more about it, they can get into the regular paint and possibilities. That's awesome. So did you actually get to do a painting yet, or are we still waiting for the freeze to happen? Well, I imagine they're frozen by now. And what did we paint? We made them yesterday. We have tested them out, and I think if we do it again, we might want to put more food coloring in. Oh, so it's not so diluted. Yeah. But they do work. I believe it. That sounds like so much fun. And that's pretty, I mean, that's cool for you too, because I think, you know, with all of your dyeing experience with the yarn, you know, dyeing your own yarn, you kind of have a better understanding of the mixtures and stuff. So as you get, you know, better at it and stuff, you'll get more consistency with those colors. She saw it on a show called Gabby's Dollhouse. Aw. Gabby's Dollhouse. What is that about? Or is it self-explanatory by the title? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just imagine it being a cartoon, maybe, with a taking place in a dollhouse. Am I close? Am I hot? Hot. Cold. Warm. There's so many cool children's programs out there anymore these days. And someone who doesn't watch TV, I'm just not in the loop. Oh, lots of stuff to do with cats. Oh, no wonder she's obsessed with your cat. Uh-huh. Now we see what's going on here. Now we understand. That's too funny. Well, the good news about that is that it's a positive program as it relates to having cats. Because, not everybody likes cats and are sometimes perceived in a negative way. So when you have a good little program, especially for children who are impressionable at her age at this time about what it means to have an animal in your life, a living being that you have to care for, that you can give some positive guidance there. That's always a good thing. You've always been a cat lady? I believe it or not, I've always been a cat lady too, and I'm allergic to cats, but I grew up with cats my whole life. Like I had cats. I had cats my entire life growing up, and I didn't have my dog. I didn't get my dogs until my cat passed away. After 17 years, my cat Binks and I were together for 17 years. And prior to Binks, I had other cats as well. But Binks and I were together the longest. But I love cats. And I would have cats again, but my dogs are not, one of my dogs is not a fan of cats. But yeah, so I've had, coming out this October, I've had Toby 12 years. And Thomas has been with us now for 5 years. So it's been a while since I've had a cat, but I love cats. I love them to death. But then I would have, I'd have like 12 cats and 20 dogs if I could. Dogs are a lot of work, yeah. They just require more attention, Cats are pretty well self-sustaining and in most cases prefer to just be left alone and, seek affection and attention on their own terms. The dogs every day, all day, every day. Walks, training. Yeah. A lot of people just don't understand that, unfortunately, and that's why we have a huge, cats are also take up the majority of residency in shelters and things across the world, but dogs as well, mostly because people can't afford to keep them, but also don't have the time for them. And that's just very, very sad. A very sad thing. What did I miss here? Hub started sending me pictures of Anatolian shepherds yesterday, and I was like, absolutely not. But secretly inside being, oh man, I really would love to just bring it home. Dogs are very good people. Like I have not met a dog that I don't like. So if you have a dog and I go missing, just look on the floor. I'll be laying around with the dog and rolling around with the dog. That's where you'll find me if you have a dog or a cat. That will allow me to smother them with my affections. They're beautiful and great with kids. Yeah. That's why I say, like, I would have 20 dogs. I'd have like one of every breed that I could possibly, They can literally outweigh you. Yeah, those are big dogs. Beautiful, beautiful dogs. Like, sheesh. Yep. So this little piece of wood that I'm working on is called aspen wood, and it smells delightful burning it, just so you know. And my good friend Nicole Christine, she is also a wood burner. She does pet portraits. Speaking of pets and dogs, and I was watching her stream one day. She doesn't stream very regularly anymore. I think she's got a lot of things going on, but she does still do commissions for pet portraits and stuff via her Instagram. And anyway, so she said, "Yeah, Karen, I got these aspen shapes and what do they call them? Slices." And she's like, "I don't use them really for anything. Is there anything, would you like to try them?" And I said, "Yeah, go ahead, send them over to me." So that was a while ago, and then some things happened and she got really busy, but she sent me like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She sent me 6 of them to try. And so I was like, okay, I'll just, why not? Halloween's coming up, so let's just do a little ornament. So I just drew this up last night and was like, yeah, let's give it a shot. And it's burning nicely. It smells wonderful. I might need to look into doing some more of these on these. I love this one. Look how beautiful this is. It's just so pretty. The wood is just, sometimes, I look at certain woods and I'm just like in awe over them, like just how they look. And it, the time it took for them to get where they are. If you got another animal, you would want a corgi. Corgis are so cute. They are adorable, and they're such good dogs. They're such good dogs. Very mellow, very chill. Unless you get a really hyperactive one, which can happen sometimes, but in general, they're just full of delight. These are so pretty. So that's how we came to doing this right now. But it smell. I wish you could. I wish there was like a smell feature. Stick your nose in the camera, guys. It's like the combination of just the aspen and the burning. Oh, so delightful. But it's burning very smoothly. Is that a boop? Oh my gosh, that is a boop. That's so cute. I probably have that emote and I didn't even know it. That's so cute. Boop. I love it. I wonder if I should put another... Nah, let's just keep it that way. So what do you guys think? You think I should add some color to this? Like color the vine and the flowers? Kind of, like this. Might be nice and maybe if I did it with pencil, it would just be very subtle. Let's see when we get there. No, Miro, I asked it directly to you. So, no hiding. I know where to find you. You like what I burned? Oh, thanks, lady. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How are you doing? I know you said you were doing good a little bit earlier. How's your dancing going? Lady does a little dance game on her streams. Super fun to watch. And talk about a way to get some really good exercise. You did? Yes, I did. I said, Miro, should I put some color on here? Y'all heard me, right? I directly asked Miro. Miro. You like it very much. It's fun. Dancing's fun. In fact, I opened my stream dancing because the song that was playing was pretty funny. You're really good at that game. Just Dance? Maybe. Lady, is that the name of the dance game that you do? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought I had never seen it before until I peeked into Lady's stream one day, and um, I liked it because I think she was when I was in there, she was doing a couple of Katy Perry ones, and the songs were like the dancer was doing the moves that I think Katy Perry does or something like that. So it was really interesting. And I thought it was interesting how the controller that you hold the controller, and I was assuming that the controller is what counted everything, like the move. You know, you have to move it in order for it to count in the game. Because I know they have that one game. Um, Maybe it's a PlayStation type of thing where it has like a mat that you dance on. I'm so bad. In the game, there's 900 dance songs. It's a lot, but I like to have a lot to choose. Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, especially since, you know, you do it a lot, you would really want to not do the same ones over and over again. But, I mean, I guess if you have the opportunity to increase your score, then you would have to do some of them over again. But I mean, I'm not really sure how that works, but did you see is it Sia's video for Can't Stop the Feeling? Goosebumps. No, I didn't see that. Is it Sia's or Sia's? Hello, Leslie. How are you? Hello, welcome in. How are things with you on this fine Sunday? I'm not a great dancer, but I enjoy it, and I love watching really great dancers strut their... I know, I love watching dancers. I dabbled in belly dancing for a while, which is how my studio started, actually, the room that I'm in. Yeah, because my girlfriend Mandy, who just passed away this year, she was my belly dancing coach, and she was very well known in the belly dancing community. She's just amazing, and so I had the fortunate opportunity to learn from her, and I will cherish that to the end of my days. I don't do much belly dancing anymore, but that's how this room and this studio got set up. I got a nice little dance floor and a mirror on the wall. That's how that came to be, and it's just evolved from there. So this will forever be known as the Shimmy Shack here, and belly dancing will always be welcome and done here. Yeah. Every time when I stream, I do a song for the first time. I don't practice offline. I'm practice only when I'm dancing online, and that's perfect too, because that brings that element of immediate knowledge. You don't even know it, right? Jane, hello, Jane. Welcome in. So good to see you. That's my girl right there. Miss Jane Henry, chef extraordinaire. Chef extraordinaire. Can't even say it. Dance off between 9 and Karen when? Anytime. Let's go. Come on. Bring it. You were thinking about me the other day. Aww. I'm always thinking about you. I'm always thinking when I make something, I'm like, I wonder how Jane would do this. And then I'm like, I don't want to tell Jane I made this, because then she'd be like, no, Karen, you're not supposed to do it that way. You need to do it this way. Because I suck at cooking. I love tap dancing. Must be the Irish genetic. Yeah. But you still weren't good at... Well, it takes practice. It takes practice. So what's going on, Jane? How is everything? How are you doing? You were looking at a complicated peacock pattern and asking myself the same. How would Kara do this? Look at us. Look at us. We just need to reach out to each other and be like, okay, how do we approach this? How do we approach this? Yeah, peacock patterns can be tricky. Just, because there's so many elements in the feathers with, they look like an eye and, do I have any pictures of the one I did recently? I don't think I've posted that yet. I hadn't posted that yet. God, I'm so bad at posting stuff. I really need to post it. I did a memorial piece for my girlfriend, Mandy, who we were just talking about, who passed away. Let me see if I can throw a picture up really quick. I thought I was making things easier on myself by not making the pattern abstract black and white, but nope. It can be. It can be. You could do it black and white, but when it comes to the peacock, it could just be, it's so much better to add the color, but you do have to get the basic burn down for it, Man, 9 can't go anywhere without getting hydrated. Hydrate trolled. Sorry to hear that, Karen. Oh, thanks, 9. Yeah, she passed away over Mother's Day weekend. I was actually out of town. That's when I took my mom to San Francisco. But the thing is that yeah, Muriel's a bully. She lived in San Francisco for a really long time. That was her place. That's where she learned how to belly dance. She spent the majority of her life there, and it was her home. And it was interesting because that morning that she passed away, my mom and I were in the Uber driving to our destination, to Napa Valley. And as I was going over the bridge, I immediately thought of Mandy. Not just because I knew that she, my mom and I, we just started talking about her. And I was like, yeah, the last time I was up here, I think was when I drove up to watch Mandy dance once in a festival. And so we were just talking about her and whatever. And I knew at the time that she was not doing well. She had, I think it was like 2 months prior to that, she kind of had broken off communications with everyone, and her mom was keeping everyone updated and stuff like that, because she was, in that stage where she was no longer really responsive and things like that. So I knew that she was close, and it was an interesting feeling, because at that time I just kind of felt her slip away. Like when we were talking about her and going over the bridge, and I was just looking at the bridge and looking at the water in the San Francisco Bay, and I was just thinking of Mandy, and it just felt like, that she was slipping away. And as soon as we got to the hotel, about an hour later, I found out that she had passed. So it was a very special thing for me, that I was in the time and the place that I was when she passed, and that I found out about it while I was in her city. She loved the San Francisco Giants, and she loved the San Francisco Bay, and it was her place. And so it was very special to be where I was at that moment. So anyways, but I did a memorial piece for her. That was the peacock, that in fact I still have it. It's still here. I was going to take it to her life celebration and give it to her family, but it wasn't the appropriate time, so I still have it. So I'm going to go grab it so that I can show you. I still have it because I haven't taken it over to her parents' house as of yet. I wanted to give it a little bit of time before I presented it to them. And the reason why, in fact, I'm going to be going over there very soon. And the reason why I waited was, number one, it wasn't appropriate at the service, but I wanted to remind her parents that she will always be remembered outside of the time that she in her passing. Because when someone has a relative or a friend or somebody who passes away, the family, and if you've had someone who's passed away, all of the love and the condolences and the food and the visits and the checking in on people and stuff happens within that period of time of a few weeks before and a few weeks after someone passes. And then months later, that kind of stuff diminishes because life goes on and people get busy and things happen, and it's no one's fault or what have you. But then sometimes the family feels like, oh, we're going to be forgotten, and no one's going to remember her, and this and that and the other, which is absolutely not possible. This woman was the most amazing creature ever and the brightest light that ever shined, and no one will forget her. I mean, there were thousands of people thousands of people that she touched. But I wanted to have a later reminder after the fact to go over her to them and sit with them and just remind them of how much she was loved then, after, and even after, and that she will continue to be thought of. So that was one of the reasons why I kept it, so that I could have that visit with them after a whiles after the fact, to remind them. So let me go grab that real quick so I can show you. So this is the piece here that we did for Mandy's family as a memorial. Let me just zoom out just a smidge there. Yeah. And this piece was so much fun to do. Remember Miro and me going through the lines? Worrying about getting those lines straight. Like it was crazy. And it's hard to see, like, on here, the shiny part of it. I wonder if hold on, let me see if this will actually, it might show up a lot better on this camera. You can see the shiny. There's a lot of, like, it's like a Pokemon. You have to move it around to see the shiny. But yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces that I've done, and like I said, I still have it right now, but I will be visiting with her family soon. And the reason for the peacock was Mandy's. It was her favorite bird, and she loved the peacock. In fact, the urn that they got for her had this beautiful, beautiful peacock on it with this huge tail, and it was absolutely stunning. But she loved the peacock, and her belly dancing costumes were peacock themed, so they were always those beautiful teals and greens and blues, and when she danced, she moved so beautifully like a peacock. It was just her, it was her. And, I just saw her floating in the clouds, in heaven, basically, just, you know what I'm saying? And it's just absolutely beautiful. So, yeah. So Jane, don't fret on it. Just keep pushing forward on it. I know it's kind of daunting because of the fact that you have a lot of the eyes in the feathers. But just keep burning it, you know, just keep burning it, and it'll come out. You know, it'll come out. It's hard to see it too in the beginning when you're starting something. It is hard, but once you get going on it, and also the other thing too that I took into consideration when I was doing this is like I kept looking at it and I kept thinking, it's not when the colors go in and things like that, it's not gonna look right. I'm not gonna be able to get the right colors in. I mean, I used different colors in there to get all the teals and the greens in there. And so when I first started it, I was really hesitant on it. I was like, this is not going the way I want it to. But look how it turned out. I couldn't be more happy with this at all. You know what I'm saying? So keep burning it, and don't be afraid to start over if you have to. If you feel like you're at a point where it's like, you know, I just got the lines wrong or what have you. There's lots of ways that you can fix it, but you know, I say just keep going for it. Just keep pushing through it, and it'll come out perfect. I believe you. I believe in you that you can do it. So keep pushing. Keep pushing. You got this. You got this. Trust the process. Exactly. This right here was suspect when we started it. Right, Miro? Miro's like, I don't get it. Like, I can't see the S standing out on top of that flower, you know? And I'm like, me neither, Miro, but we're just gonna go with it. Like, and look what happened. It just turned out so good. So you just have to, you know, start, move forward, and just go with it, you know? Yeah, it was engaged. Absolutely. And don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. I'm going to show you something that I worked on this weekend. You know, we were talking about weekends. I've always wanted to work with clay, and I've done a few little things. I don't think I have my little teddy bear in here, but I've done a few little things with clay, just, you know, just polymer clay, not, you know, like Sculpey clay, not, you know, real mud clay. So I was like, I want to do something. So I worked on this little pumpkin this weekend, and I think it's super cute. Let me get up in here so you can see it. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna just start doing little, because I figure, you know, this might make a cute little magnet. I mean, it's pretty big. It's you know, it's on one of these coaster thingies, so it's a pretty large pumpkin. I had wanted to do it because I was going to try to put something on this coffin, right? Which I probably will do. I will incorporate some of that a little bit. So that's the other reason why I wanted to start doing some sculpting with some clay, so that I can add some little three-dimensional elements to my burns. And so that's how this started. And then it just kind of got a little bit too big for the coffin. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to keep going with it. I was like, it's not going to be what I wanted it to be for the coffin. So I'm just going to keep pushing it through and see what happens. And now it's just going to be a cute little pumpkin magnet, I think. So you add a whole lot of depth. Yeah. Like twisting that, you know, the stem, and then just putting the little vine and the little leaves on there. And so we'll stick it in the oven, see what happens, and then we'll paint it. And yeah, why not? More crafts. Yeah, I think, you know, because you're always looking for ways to add other elements to your burns, you know, like I do a lot of my burns, and then sometimes I'll add color, and that just kind of changes the element to it. And then other times I just leave you know, just leave the burn. So why not add the element of something a little bit more 3D with some clay if I can. I mean, I've seen others do it, and you know that's fine. I'm not copying anyone or anything. I'm just doing my thing. But I always want to add some elements to it. Cooking with Karen, yeah, cooking clay. Hello, Blazing Kitty. Welcome in. How are you? See, I'm always trying to find some little ways to add some elements and dynamics to my stuff. You're into it, cooking clay with Karen. See, Jane's with us. Yes. How are you, Blazing Kitty? Welcome in. Happy Sunday. Now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, here we go. Can you hear it? You're doing good? Oh, I am so happy to hear that. We love that. We love to hear that. And we also love to hear if you're not doing good, because this is a safe space if you have to vent. It's okay. Okay, so now I gotta figure out how I want to do these little flowers. These little flowers. These little flowers. In fact, I think I'll switch burners real quick. I'm gonna sleep. Have a nice dream. Oh, good night, lady. Thank you for dropping by and hanging out. It's always so nice to see you. Have a lovely sleep and a wonderful week. Take care. Let's try and do bye. This might be a little too warm here. Now, I talked about how I used, for this hat, I used a stamp, you know? So I try to use this brown ink if ever I use a stamp, so that it kind of burns better. But it's actually burning a little bit black, which is okay, because, you know, it should be a black hat, but I kind of wanted it more brown, but it's kind of... I think it has something to do with the fact that this is ash. Not ash, aspen. This aspen wood, which I've never used before. So it's an adventure. And so now I'm learning that the combination of this ink and this particular wood is not going to give me the more brown colors that I usually get when I burn. And quite honestly, I'm okay with it on this hat, but oh, it smells so good. Smells like a campfire, or like a really good campfire. But I know that in the future, for anything that I'm going to use on these, that I'll need to not stamp and just draw it. I could have drawn the hat. It would have been fine, but I found that I had those stamps in my little box, my little Halloween box, and I thought, oh, let me try this. Because my heat's not very hot, and my not using a lot of heat here on my pen. Because again, this is a new wood to me, so I'm not used to how it performs. So I want to be careful not to scorch it, and not to have my heat too high that I can't correct something if needed. But it's kind of just fusing that ink in there from the stamp. I could have sanded that ink off of there, I guess. Once I had my outline in place. So it's all a learning experience, you know. But quite honestly, it's not taking away from the hat at all. It's actually enhancing it a little bit to have that color, that darker, really dark. It's not quite black, but it's not a very light brown. I don't use stamps very often. Sometimes I just find a cute little stamp that would make a cute little design for something, and I'll use that. And a lot of times I'll use the stamp, and then I'll enhance it with, you know, adding some elements to it by, you know, drawing in my own imagination into it. But I don't use them very often. But sometimes they're helpful, and especially if you're a new wood burner and you're looking for a way to, you know, you don't draw, but you want to wood burn, stamps are one way that you can do that. Just be mindful of the ink that you're using, so that it doesn't bleed, because it will, if once you put the wood, will just soak it right in, and it'll start bleeding out of your lines. So you have to be very mindful on the, I mean, you don't want to use, what did I use on this? I used, ooh, that's hot. I usually use this particular Craftsmart washable ink pad if I'm going to be putting anything on wood. It doesn't bleed very well, or it doesn't bleed very much. If you get into some of the other, I've tried a lot of different ones because I didn't know, you know. Some of these are not, they're different inks is what I'm learning, and they're made for different things. So some of them are a lot wetter than others, so they will bleed. So you have to be careful which one that you use, and it also depends on the wood too. So like I can use that black on, you know, like I use this brown that I have. In fact, I don't even know where that's at. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so it's the same as the black. So I use this brown for this one, and it stayed in place on this aspen wood. But I've used this brown on other woods, and it really bled out. So it went without outside of the lines. So yeah, exactly, Miro. There's difference. It's because they make these for different things, you know, these ink pads for different things, because people use stamps for fabric, people use stamps for canvas, people use stamp for, you know, all different kinds of surfaces, paper. So, you know, the inks are made specifically for those types of things. And I'm not a stamper. Like, you know, there's people who are just like master stampers. They use stamps for cards and letters and scrapbooks and things like that. So, you know, they have a little bit more knowledge than me. So I've just kind of like playing it on the side of, I want to use this, but I need to figure out how I can use it to my advantage, and not know too much about it. So I just got a variety of different ones and have tried them on different things. But again, for wood, this one might work on this aspen wood, but it'll bleed on pine or something else, you know. So it just makes it, you know, you just got to figure that out. But it is a good tool to use for someone who doesn't draw. You can use stamps for that. You're also into pyrography as well. Haven't used the tool, but you will soon. Definitely pick it up. Have at it. Hey, mascot, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Ink. Funny. That's true. So again, it's just, figuring out and adding different elements to your craft, and figuring out different ways that things that you can use to get better and to increase your skill. And then sometimes you find out it hinders your skill too. So then you're like, okay, well, that was fun, but I'm not going to use that again. And that's all about the process, right? Of figuring out how to best use things to your advantage. I think I'm gonna turn my heat up a little bit on this because I want this belt around the hat to be a little bit darker. So since we're getting into the darker territory here with this ink, this is kind of an advantage, right? Yeah. It's hotter. It smells good, but it is generating a little bit more smoke than I would like. So I'm going to put my mask on for a little bit, okay? Safety first. And I do have my fan here. My window's open, so it does draw the smoke away from me. But we always want to be on the safe side. Black like your heart, right next to mine. Right, Mascot? I'm right there with you. And black is just a combination of all colors together, which means you love everything. That's how black my heart is. Full of love. Okay, all right, let's turn this back down a little bit. Yeah, that came out really kind of solid. And I really like the lighter, the way that that's kind of blending with the lighter color there, you know? So we're going to continue that here. So see, what I thought was going to be a hindrance with this ink is actually turning out to be really cool, so that's great. It really does add to it. And it's just, you know, it's burning it off. Like it's burning it off, but also kind of melting it into the wood as well. Melding, I think that's the right word. A little darker down here. Let me just... be a little bit lazy with the pen here to give it this highlight. I think it should be darker around that edge there. Yeah. Yeah, that's really feathering out nicely. You know, and then it just leaving the little, just leaving some of those little elements in there of lighter and darker. Let's just blend that a little bit more. It's not so sharp. We do have that focal point of clearly there's darkness over here and there's light over here, just based on how this stamp has been set up. Do you oil stain or wax any of your woodwork? Yes, I do. Depending on, you know, the piece. I've not done any wax though. I've done, I do like a standard polyurethane, mostly use this varnish. It's mostly what I use. I did use a little bit of stain a very like clear stain on this particular one for the background here to just give it a little bit of an element. And that really brought out from the wood itself. Um, that wasn't even the, you know, the stain was just a clear stain. Okay, Meryl. Um, and I used a little bit of stain on this one too, on the outside here. So I used a darker, well, actually on this one I didn't use stain, I used ink. I use India ink on a lot of my pieces. So that kind of went there. So I kind of just kind of mess around, and depending on um, what I need it for. There was something else I used a stain on just recently. Oh, I don't have it anymore. I actually sent it out. But I used a little bit of a darker stain on the background. I don't like to use too much stain because I it's so hard to gauge the color and what it will end up being on particular woods. And I don't want it to draw away from the burn. So I'm very cautious of that. So I'll use a lot more ink for that. And then then the final coating or clear coating will just be just this clear, like a satin varnish. I've used matte, satin, and glossy, but I love the satin overall for all of my stuff. It kind of really enhances it much more. But like for these coasters, Manny told me to get a food grade. Um, I have it written down, but it was a food grade um, clear coat for these, since these will be coasters. And it'll give it a nice coating for, for water, in case someone, there's condensation on glasses or what have you. If someone actually uses it as a coaster, it will be functional for that purpose. So yeah, there's lots of things that I'm learning for coatings and things like that from our woodworkers. It's been incredibly helpful. Because I also do some cutting boards. Like I've done some cutting boards, and I just use a cutting board oil for those, rather than any kind of, like varnish or anything like that. Because we don't, if someone were to use that, it wouldn't be food safe. Thank you. Yeah, this actually turned out really cool. I like the look of that. Yeah, I can't have the lacquer in the food. Exactly. Did I miss this right here? I totally missed that right there. Wow. Just looking for all the spots I might have missed here. And back. Yeah, so it turned out really good, Miro, I think. It's the subtle shadings where it needs to be and the darker ones where it needs to be, and that turned out really cool. I love it when a plan comes together. You went and fetched you some hydrating? That's the center cut of a branch, right? Yeah, these are aspen slices. They were sent to me by a fellow woodburner, Nicole Christine. She had a few of these. She said she bought a whole lot of them and she isn't using them for very much. So she sent me some to try because I'd never used aspen before. So I'm super happy with it. Like, I will definitely use all of these and I will use these again. I picked the smallest one, didn't I? So she gave me just a variety of different sizes, and I don't know, I'm really loving this one. This is so pretty. I'm trying to figure out in my mind's eye how I can incorporate back in a few, gotta get my kitchen on. Get it. Yeah, that would. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting piece right here, this one, with that knot. The knot here in the center and then the knot here. It already looks like there's a bird in here or something, huh? Oh, maybe I need to do that, a bat. Make that the moon. Maybe a little haunted house. A screaming skull. Oh, that's a good one. I might need to sing some songs today. Why is this not working? That was the background music to one of those songs that I sang. It's like, huh, maybe I should sing some songs today. Oh, look at that little emote. How cute is that little wiggle? Oh my gosh. That's a kitty wiggle. Getting wiggle with it. Adorable. What's this one? Perla Bibin. Is that a corgi too, though, Miro? I mean, it looks like it, but it could be a fox too. Ah, Shiba Inu. Yeah, got it. Got it. You're right. All right. All right, so we got all the burn going on that one. So now let's add some color. I think I'm gonna do no, it's not a commission. This is just me wanting to try those aspen slices. And why not make something that somebody might want? I think she put these holes in here to make it like an ornament, you know? And it's small enough too, you know? Pumpkin spice, is that a color? It is a color, actually. I think I do have a pumpkin spice. As we're gonna use colored pencils. I mean, any color could be pumpkin spice, right? Like, but like this could be a pumpkin color. So I think I want to do So we usually have to try to mix these colors sometimes. You were kidding. I don't think it's actually called pumpkin spice, but I mean, any orange could be pumpkin spice, right? Because I mean, I do like doing pumpkins. These are my pumpkins on my little pumpkin witch. So that could be pumpkin spice, right? Yeah, any orange, see? I want to start with this one. If it sounds catchy, it probably is a color. Yeah. It'd be like a dark. You're right. Yeah. Because it is, I mean, because when they say pumpkin spice, it's like when you think about like pumpkin bread or a pumpkin, you know, spice latte, because it's got coffee in it, it's got that darker brown, right? So detonator yellow. Exactly. So yeah, the pumpkin spices I think would be a lot more brownish reddish color. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Man, this color, these pencils just go really smooth over this aspen. Wow. It blends in very nicely. I love trying all of these new, you know, these different woods that I've never used before, because that's part of the adventure, I guess. And then you know, when you think of a specific type of design or something that you're going to want to do on something, you can say, okay, yep, I want to use aspen for that, or I want to use, you know, basswood for this, or I think I want to use a little bit of maple for this, or so it's helpful to expand my horizons as far as, and why I like to challenge myself on the different species, because you never know how something will turn out. And I do like blending a couple of different colors together sometimes to get a specific, you know, green or orange. Like those pumpkins I just showed you, those are a combination of a couple of those different orange and yellow, just to get things the right color. Oh, thank you. I have brand new oil pastels I haven't even used yet. Oh, yeah? I haven't used any oil-based paints on any of my wood projects. I use mostly these colored pencils, but I mostly use India ink um, on my projects just because it's very vibrant. It does soak into the wood, however, it is very good at stopping at the burn line, so it doesn't bleed past the burn line. But the wood just, most of the woods, all the woods really that I've used it on have taken it very, very well, and it's just very, very vibrant and pretty. Um, just as an example, this is completely India ink, the coloring in here, and just see how clear and vibrant it is. I just absolutely love it. And this is on basswood, so the basswood took it really nicely. I mean, I know a lot of people use a lot of watercolor and stuff. I haven't ventured into that area yet, is using watercolor. It is something that I want to. I have used this particular brand that is a liquid based watercolor that you don't have to, it's pre-mixed with water or what have you. It works pretty much like my India inks do, but it does bleed a little bit more than the ink does. Yeah, it just, I love the ink. It's just the colors they do pop out and they're just so pretty, And then I put the little shiny on the confetti. I love that Pikachu. He's having a party in his Pokeball. But yeah, I haven't tried the oil. I'm afraid of the oil in a sense that it may not, the drying time actually might be a little bit longer. But I definitely will try it because, again, I'm always up for trying something different just to see what it does, because you never know what specific technique or product might benefit a specific art piece, You haven't tried them yet either. Well, let me know. Let me know after you do, like what your experience is with it. With the how they dry, how it if it bleeds or spreads or any of that. Let me know on the wood, and of course what wood you've used on with it, because that's also a factor to take into of how it reacts. Excellent. Yeah, keep me posted on that. I'm curious. I mean, I've used acrylic too. I've used like craft acrylic paints. I've used those too, and that works fine. But my preference is the ink or the colored pencils, and I'm telling you that that went on so smooth on this aspen wood. Whereas using pencils on. Oh, good night, Miro. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Have a wonderful sleep. Sleep well, dream well, good dreams, and have an amazing week. Thanks for coming through. We love Miro. Mwah. Nighty night. Yeah, that just went really, 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 really smooth on there. That's Miro's way of getting out of just telling me what colors I should do the flowers. He just leaves. See how he is? He doesn't really have to go to sleep. He just doesn't want to pick the colors. I'm kidding. See? Uh-huh. I'm on to you, Miro. I'm on to you. All right, 9. What color should I do these little flowers? I'm leaving it to you then. Or Kitty. I could do 2 different colors. So Kitty, give me a color, and 9, give me a color to do these flowers. Orange, okay. Do color pencils erase off of wood? They do, somewhat. If I use a sand eraser, which is what I'll typically use on my woods when I have pencil marks, because it's grittier, so it'll be it acts in a sense like a sandpaper. It will rough it up, but not enough to change the surface, just enough to get the coloring out of there. Sometimes a standard eraser will take things off depending on the porous of the wood, but in general I use the grit or sand eraser. All right, so orange and red. Okay. We'll use this orange and we'll use this red. Yeah, that'll be pretty. Okay. My dog's out there barking, if you can hear him. Telling the neighbors, you know, this is what we do around here. This is my place. I'm here. My domain. So we are going to do a couple things here. So I'm going to do the center of that red and do the petals orange. And then we're going to do this one with the orange center and the red petals. Because this is in the realm of our imagination, so we can do whatever we want. Oh, thanks for coming through, Kitty. I appreciate you hanging out. And let me know how that oil works out on your projects. I'm very curious. Have a good day. Hey, Sunset Woodworking. How are you, JP? What's going on, my friend? We are playing with some aspen wood slices that a friend of mine sent me. And it's turning out pretty good. I've never used aspen before. This one's going to be fully orange. And this one will be fully red. And then we'll do red center on this one. Perfect. That. Look how pretty that is. Great choices, guys. Doing good. Oh, excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Look how fall-y that looks. Is that a word? It's folly. We're falling. Yeah, so we just burned our little design and now we are coloring, adding some color. And I have these little, I think I'm gonna do, let's see how this turns out. That might be too bright, actually. No, it looks okay. Yeah, so I would say all in all, these little aspen slices were kind of a little success here for this little test piece. And it's going to be exciting to work with the other ones and do the same kind of thing on them. Autumn-esque. Thank you, mascot. Rich, you forgot the spinach. Really? 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 Come on, man. That looks really good. If I do say so myself. Now I should color the background in. Or should I? I do want to do really quick though. Maybe I should just use the pencil. We'll see. You know what, I'm gonna do it. After you finish a project and it looks so good you decide to keep it. Well, at this point in my life, I have kept every project really that I've done except for those I've done as gifts for other people. Because nothing's up for sale at this point. So everything I've ever worked on is still here. That's why I have such a mess around me, because I got so much shit that I need to get rid of. But hopefully I will when I do my my first market, hopefully in December. So I've been creating this inventory of stuff. So right now, yes, I do have a lot of stuff, and I'm just keep building my inventory. And then whatever I don't do in the market, I'll decide if I want to put it up on like Ko-fi or something, or I'm not particularly fond of, well, that's not the right one, wanting to use Etsy. So yeah, we'll see. Because that's really been my focus in my art at this point. Is that my silver? Yeah. Is creating inventory so that I could do a couple of markets, because that's been my goal. You know, I've talked about it a lot on here that I want to do a street market or an art show. And my inventory takes a lot of time to build because it's a very slow and tedious process, wood burning. And so it takes me a lot longer. So I've had the advantage of COVID putting a damper of wanting to do a market because they haven't had any in the last 2 years. So I've been building inventory. And like I was talking earlier about how, you know, I've pushed myself with streaming. I've done more art in the last year than I did in the 2 years prior, just because I've been streaming, which has really pushed me and helped me to advance my skill level and some of the things that I've been doing, and just giving me that opportunity to build more stock or inventory. And so I'm super excited with what I have, and I'm trying to prepare for this market that I want to do. It'll be a Yule market, and it will be basically a witchcrafted market. So the items will be more geared towards, witches and pagans and Wiccans and crystals and herbs and spices and all those good things in the practice. And so right now I'm trying to put together, I'm not going to go in there with an abundance and overloaded with inventory. So I'm just trying to pick a few things that will be appropriate for that time of year and appropriate for that market, and focus on those items so that I have a good selection, a good variety to show off my work, but also to be available. So that's what I'm working towards right now. That and getting, finishing up the coaster commission that I have for Christmas, and a couple of other things that I've been asked to do. So Yeah, the guitar, getting the guitar done. You know, I don't know that I have it all figured out, mascot, but thank you. I'm glad it sounds like I do. Do any of us ever have anything else figured out? I mean, we do like to pretend that we've got it all figured out. But that's like the path. That's the path. Because, I mean, I was, you know, I knew nothing about streaming. You know, I've only been in this Twitch arena for almost 2 years now. And so prior to that, it wasn't on my radar or doing any of that. So I was just, you know, basing what I was doing on either, you know, selling on the internet or, you know, presenting my work on the internet or doing street markets or art shows. And so now I have this additional platform just to help me not push my stuff. I'm not trying to push any of my stuff on here, but, you know, just an awareness and also just helping me to get better at what I'm doing and also do more of what I'm doing. So that's always been the plan and the goal, is the street markets or art shows. And I had hoped to do one this October, but I just didn't have enough time when I found it. Become a, you know, of course they've been doing it for years, but you know, you just don't become aware of them until you just happen to cross something and be like, oh, that's available, that exists. But I just didn't have enough time to get everything together that I need to get together on that, which I have to get a license for the state because it's in Arizona and I don't live in Arizona, and then I have to establish my business, and I have to, you know, there's just a lot of stuff that you have to do, and I just didn't have time to do that because I don't have all that stuff in place as of yet. So Rin, hello darling, I love you. How are you? Our cult leader. How are you, my love? Ren has been playing Cult of the, is that what it's called? Cult of the Lamb. And I think my little character died of old age. I don't think I've been resurrected, right, Ren? I said, no, I want to be a ghost. It's spooky season. It's been so fun. I still can't get over the werewolf game, though. That was super fun. I loved that. Last Saturday, she was playing, I don't even know what the name of that game is, but it's like, you know, it's one of those, it looks like you're watching a movie, but it's like a horror game where you're trying to stay alive from, you know, werewolves killing you, and it was really fun. Had a great time. Really enjoyed that. Hey Forte, how are you? Welcome in. So good to see you. The quarry. Do the werewolves have six packs? I don't know if they did or not, mascot. That's a good question. Rin? Did we get close enough to see that? I don't know. I mean, no, I don't know. Oh, you're playing Dead by Daylight today. All right. Sweet. Very cool. Thank you, Forte. Yeah, I am experimenting with this new with Aspen. This is an Aspen slice, and I've never used Aspen before, so just doing something simple and easy and trying all of my techniques. I burned on it. I've put colored pencil on it. I've now put some ink on it with some iridescence, and yeah, so it's I'm checking off all of the boxes. I love it. It's been really nice. It's been going very, very smooth. And yeah, and it looks great. Like the color, I used the colored pencil on the colors, and it just glided right across it. It blended in very nicely. So I have nothing bad to say about it at all. Blended nice, burned nice. It smelled delicious when I was burning it. So yeah. So this is, so what do you guys think? Do you think I should color in the background? Or just call it done? What is your opinion? Been fun watching you work this little cute thing. It is a cute little thing, isn't it? A little cute thing. Hey, Annabeth, welcome in. How are you? I was hoping they were more like Twilight werewolves. No, mascot, no. These were trying to, you know, turn you into a werewolf. And killing people. It was very scary. Very scary, but thankfully Ren and Mira were there to hold my hand. But it was fun. It was super fun. And Ren did a very good job because she kept everybody alive, which was cool. Yeah, so I can't decide if I want to color in the background or not. And if I do color it in, what do I color it in? Do I do like an orange? I know it looks cool as is, huh? Maybe I should just put a clear coat on it and call it done. I think I am. I think I'm just gonna put a clear coat on it and be like, we done, yo. It's cute. I love it. I would actually keep it for myself, to be honest. All right, we're just gonna put a satin finish on it, and I need my brush. I wonder if those rings come out with stain. What do you mean? Oh, the rings in the wood, if they might enhance. You're right. It's probably something I should probably test. I should do that on one of these. Like I should take one of these, and because like some of these have some, like these ones right here have some really heavy rings in them. I should do that. I should like as a test to see just what will happen. Yeah, unless you use a stain that doesn't enhance. Because I know that there are stains out there that you can get that don't enhance it, but I don't know. I don't know that I would, because I don't stain, because we were just talking about that earlier, about how I don't really stain that much. I use the ink, or I use the, you know, the pencils, or just a clear coat. So I'm not really staining a lot. But they probably do. Unless you use a stain that does show the grain, it's more likely enhance. I know, I love the rings too. Like this particular one right here, like look how cool this is. Like look how cool that is right there. Like with the knot. And then the little rings in here, like I was thinking that could be like a, like that could be like a moon, and I could do like a haunted house and some bats, and you know what I mean? You like the stains that act like a paint and cover the grain. Yeah, I mean, it just depends too, because sometimes you want to enhance the grain depending on what you're doing, but you also, I mean, for burning, your main focus is your burn. You want to make sure that your burn is not overshadowed by a stain, or you lose your burn when you stain it. It's very hard to, you do not like the stains that cover the grain. Oh, did I read that wrong? You don't love the stain. Sorry, I read that wrong. That was my fault. I have some birch with heavy rings in them too. Yeah, I like the grain to show through. I did my first piece with maple, You did read it wrong. I'm sorry. Thanks for clarifying. I appreciate that. I did my first piece of maple on the replacement nameplate the um, for the auction, and I really loved how it turned out, and it was so pretty. The flame in the maple was so pretty that I couldn't cover it all up. I've done some small amounts of experimentation of staining with wood burning. I think it's best to do on a wood that's not basswood. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, because that's where it was going back to, is where you put the stain and where you don't, because sometimes, yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work. Let me see here. So this was the replacement nameplate that I did for the one that got lost, and I had to redo it. So I couldn't get the same cutout from, they didn't sell the cutouts where I got them. I got the cutouts from the previous ones at Michael's, and they just didn't have anymore. So I went on and I found someone who was making these, and they made them out of maple. And let me tell you something, this burned like a dream. Ugh, and it smelled delicious. Smelled delicious. But as you can see, I enhanced that grain with the burn from here. Like I can't zoom in on this, but it, like, I just used the grain and enhanced it here, but you can see how beautiful that flame was. And like on the previous version of this one, I dotted and covered that all up, right? So I was like, when I saw this maple, I was like, there's no way I can do that. I just couldn't cover it up. I had to leave that maple, that flame in there. It was so pretty. And it just turned out so much better, I think. It's just very nice and delicate. So, yeah, I love trying different woods and stuff. So when Nicole Christine sent these to me, I was super happy to give them a shot, and that's what we did today with this one. And I'm really excited to use them because it worked. It burned really nicely and smelled delicious too. So, yeah. And basswood it's very thirsty. It really does absorb, but it did take my ink very nicely. So that's why I use the India ink. Because this is basswood, when I did this Pikachu, like, this is all India ink, and it just absorbed it really nice and consistently. You can I don't know that you can see it on here, but some of the wood grains you can still see the wood grain. Like, you can really see it, like in the red. If you just like a Pokemon shiny, you got to move it around to see the elements. You can see the grain in there pretty well still, and I like that element of it when it comes through. Yeah, Pikachu having a little party in his Pokeball. And that's without like the watercolor that keeps it. Yeah, I don't use any. This is just straight up India ink. I'll just pull this one. This is what I use, is India ink when I use an ink. Otherwise, I'm using colored pencil like I used here today. Oh yeah, Jamie uses she uses watercolor, actual watercolor for her stuff. That's her preference. I don't think she's used it. Her and I talked about it. I don't think she uses the ink on that. Can't remember the name of the product. Yeah, I know. It's like a specific one that she uses that she just loves so much, and I can't think of it either. And what's funny is, like, her and I went to the art store together, and she bought some of it there, and I can't think either what it is. Yeah. Yeah, gosh, what is that? I can't think of the name of it, but it's beautiful. I mean, it's justly so that she uses that particular brand because it's beautiful. And some of the metallics that it has, they're gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah, she does some great work on her stuff with the watercolors. I bought this brand of watercolor. This is an actual watercolor versus an ink, and it bleeds a lot more than the India ink does. So I've been experimenting with it a little bit, but this isn't the this is a pre-mixed, not an actual. You know, you get the watercolor with the powder and then you mix it yourself to get your color and your consistency. I just haven't got to that point yet to use watercolors. It's what she uses before she paints with the watercolors. Oh, okay. It could be Ren. It could be. I don't know. Yeah, not sure. Not sure. Not sure. But that's what I do. That's what I do. And that's the great thing about, you know, how everyone has a different way of doing things and gets a really good result in what they use, and why there's so much different stuff available, right? But it's Kitty was just in here talking about how she's going to be experimenting with some oil stuff, so I'm very interested to hear about that. You know, to see what results that she gets from that, because I've never used oil on wood before, so that'll be interesting to know as another possibility. Hang on one second. I just wanted to make sure I got any particles off of there before I put this clear on here. Yeah, there's so many options, which is great, which I love, being able to experiment a little bit with stuff, and then finding what works for me, because I've experimented with things and just hated it, you know, like, oh well, that didn't turn out good, or what have you. So I love to try new things. Oh yeah, see, that's perfect. So that, again, this is just a clear satin varnish, and look how the coloring is happening with with the with it soaking into the wood there. It's kind of bringing those rings out very nicely. Just subtly enough, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the coloring that, you know, without putting a background in there, it just has its own natural background, which is really cool. Transparent watercolor ground. Yeah, well, there you have it. And she would need that for watercolor.